why is this question important? Coming back to the question of, is there consciousness in a real pragmatic walk the dog, make dinner? Why do you think that this
Well,
is an
can it be
important question?
explained? It is different than is there.
Phil Phails at Philosophy.
Can consciousness be explained? Considering explaining consciousness, how does it
I mean,
help us?
I don't know if there's. I don't know. It's weird because it's like if there were some way we could create ways to explain the fact of consciousness, not necessarily how our consciousness works. That's psychology, right? But the fact of consciousness. How would that help us?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any way like that would help us in a concrete, pragmatic way, right? Um, the problem is we have it. The problem is we have this fundamental experience of
We have something, we have an it that we cannot explain it what it is. So do we have it?
right,
If we can't explain it, do we have it?
right, and I think that's the problem is that we resist accepting things we can't explain. Maybe maybe it's better to just accept that we have consciousness. And I think we'll have a similar thing with free will, at least in my position. Like, there's lots of ways it's difficult to explain the ability to make real choices. Like, if we say free will is the ability to make real choices, to actually say, I'm going to choose that thing over that thing, right? And I'm doing that as a willful choice, not because some set of neurons have fired in a way,
Cause and effect.
right, that have
Yeah.
brought me here. So, because we experience that choice, we experience that fundamental need to make choices. Look, if we didn't have free will, life would be a lot easier, right? Our free will is what brings our anxiety.
Sometimes I think about free will with this show. I'm like, why was I supposed to do this show? It makes it easier for me to, when I think, oh, that just takes Jesus, take the wheel,
Exactly.
right?
Let go.
Like, I'm doing this because cause and effect. I was meant to do this. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen because now here I am.
Yeah. I mean, and could you, all right, now imagine, try to think of yourself as living your life without that sense of stepping back from your life that is consciousness, that is free will,
Mm-hmm.
where you're just operating and you're operating, we have those moments of entrainment, like when we're playing the
Or when
drums,
we're driving a
we're
car and you're
driving a
like, wake up,
car,
it's 2 hours
and it's
later.
like, and we just do the thing
Autopilot.
and it's smooth and we get it done.
Some people call that flow state, and they
Right.
say that that's a spiritual
Right.
thing.
And you're in that flow state. Like, that flow state is an interesting space to be in, but imagine a life that is all that flow state,
Right. So we're talking
where
about the
you
middle
never
road.
step
We're
back.
talking about the middle road
Right.
here.
Like, is that a goal? Is that, or is it better to be in a space where sometimes I'm in that flow state and sometimes I'm like, well, because
More
that
discerning.
that flow state is also what abusers get into when they're, abusing people, because they never step back and
They're
say,
in the cycle of violence.
right, exactly. So the flow state isn't always good, right? Like,
Right. Depends on
part
the
of it is,
flow.
it depends,
Well, what is good?
right.
What came up for me just a moment ago was we have to accept, that we won't know consciousness in the same way we have to accept pirates. The same way we have to accept that there's going to be arguments in monasteries.
Right.
I want a world that doesn't exist because the world isn't like that. And
Right.
I want the world to be.
I have some model of what the world should be.
And isn't this enlightenment? Just accepting the world as it is.
I mean, is it accepting the suffering that's out there when we have the ability to change it?
Do we have the ability to change it?
Sure.
You're saying we can make no pirates. You saying we make monasteries that they don't argue in the kitchen.
Maybe we
You're
don't.
saying that
Maybe we don't have the ability to change it on the scale we would like. But if I see a pirate going after a loved one, I have the ability to stop that from happening. I have the ability to end that suffering in that moment. Like,
You're
it's
saying that
we
it's an individual thing that if we all, but that's that.
I have the power to take care of the things that are my business in front of
Isn't
me.
this like Christianity's approach or like religion's approach, if we just change if we change everybody to follow the way we view the world, to act the way we think they should do, we won't have suffering, we won't have crime, we won't have people doing the wrong thing. We get quickly to these like
It's worked out
religious.
brilliantly, hasn't it?
I was saying, well, I don't know how we get to this place where everybody makes the right choice in a world where there's scarcity.
I don't think we get there. I think what we can strive for is making the right choice for ourselves.
Right.
Um, and understand that that means thinking about things larger than just my own immediate desires, my own, like we don't want to become the pirate. Why not? Like, hey, the pirate life is good.
Yo, whoa,
But it's
whoa.
not. I mean, isn't that the whole, like, did you watch Our Flag Means Death?
Hmm?
Did you watch Our Flag Means Death?
I don't think so.
Ah, it's good. I mean, it's a good show. It's a gay pirate show, and people love it for that.
It's a
But
gay pirate show?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And it's really, I mean, it's good on a whole lot of levels. But you know, part of it is like one of the main characters is Blackbeard.
Oh, it's a comedy?
It's a comedy.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hilarious. Right,
Right.
right.
And I think the lesson of Blackbeard there is like the pirate's life being Blackbeard, it kind of sucks. Like,
Yeah.
like it's terrible for that person too. Um yeah, so I think being able to get outside of our own space, our own flow state, and have that level of abstraction and say, "Hey, what's going on here? How are other people involved?" That's part of the process. But we can blow it out so large that we're like, but we can't end suffering for all beings everywhere completely. Therefore, it's all a sham.
So it's all or nothing thinking.
Right.
If we can't end all of it, then why not accept the level that it is?
Right. And I think, yeah, I don't know. I think creatures seem able to display when things really suck for them most of the time in ways, in signs that I understand.
Yeah.
The work of reducing that within the systems I have access to seems enough.
Yeah.